Welcome to MarcusG.TV. I'm Chef Marcus Giuliano, and I'm a chef on a mission. Today's mission is the sweet potato, one of my favorite foods. And Jamie's off camera today.
Off camera.
But she is helping me with this. And Jamie, I found a thing on Facebook from Medical Medium about sweet potatoes. And you know, a lot of people avoid sweet potatoes because of the carbohydrate content in it. You know, the carb people out there, the anti-carb people. We're definitely not one of those types of people, or types of family. We are on the actual opposite. We are on an extra high carbohydrate diet. And sweet potatoes are perfect. Love sweet potatoes. So what does Medical Medium say about sweet potatoes? This is just a quick rundown. This is just some basic statements. We're not making any medical claims here. I don't think they're making any medical claims. These are just probably some summaries of things that have been accumulated along the time. There's no references here, unfortunately. But this is just an overall on sweet potatoes.
Yes. Okay. Sweet potatoes are an incredibly nutritious food that are packed with antioxidants like beta-carotene, vitamins C, E, and D, and minerals such as manganese and iron. They are also high in potassium, which helps to lower blood pressure by removing excess sodium and regulating fluid balance in the body. Sweet potatoes are an excellent anti-stress food and are known to help relax muscles, steady nerves, and balance cognitive function. They are also one of the best anti-cancer foods and can particularly help to prevent breast, colon, lung, skin, and oral cancers. Sweet potatoes are known for being easy to digest and are very good for ulcers, inflamed colons, digestive disorders, and constipation. Sweet potatoes contain compounds called phytonutrients that can bind to heavy metals such as lead, mercury, copper, and cadmium, and safely remove them through the body. Mothers have even given children who have accidentally swallowed a metallic object such as a coin plenty of sweet potatoes so that it will stick to the object and allow it to pass through easier. The health benefits of sweet potatoes are the most bioavailable when eaten raw, steamed, or baked. Try making a simple fat-free sweet potato soup by steaming sweet potatoes until soft, then placing them in a blender or food processor and blend until creamy smooth. Spices such as cloves, cinnamon, ginger, chili peppers, or curry can be added for a flavor and nutritional boost. Baked sweet potatoes can be stored in the refrigerator and later sliced over a fresh green salad for a hearty lunch or dinner. Sweet potatoes are also delicious mashed with a drizzle of olive oil, coconut butter, or avocado. Sweet potatoes are comforting, satisfying, and very healing food. Consider finding more ways to include them into your diet.
Great summary on sweet potatoes.
So real quick, on sweet potatoes. So in there they're saying you should eat them raw. Is that correct, Marcus?
Yes, you can eat sweet potatoes raw. I've heard of people juicing sweet potatoes, putting it in their juice. Now, we've done sweet potatoes raw before because we've dehydrated them. Like with
sweet potato chips
that are dehydrated at a low temperature.
That sounds delicious.
Sliced thin, some Cajun spice on it, put in the dehydrator, 110 degrees, 5, 6, 7 hours, depending on how thick it is. Get you incredible Cajun sweet potato chips that are raw. So yes, you can eat them raw. I wouldn't say eat a sweet potato like a carrot and walk around and chew on it. You probably wouldn't enjoy it, but yes, you can technically eat a sweet potato raw.
Is there a difference between organic and conventional? Because I don't see in this article at all that they talk about organic sweet potatoes.
That's a great question. Now, we've been making an organic sweet potato soup here for years. For 9, 10 years, we've been making a sweet potato soup. Same recipe. There's one time of the year every year where sweet potatoes become very rare, or scarce, organic sweet potatoes. They go from $50 a case up to $100, and you see that happen every July and August. That's because a new crop is coming in and the storage crop is dwindling down. So as the storage crop dwindles down, the price skyrockets. And one year I made a mistake and I bought conventional sweet potatoes to try to make our sweet potato soup, and I said, how bad could it be? Here's the big difference. Obviously, organic is organic and has less chemicals, less pesticides, less residues. You're paying for a greener way of farming, a more ethical, more sustainable. But as far as the flavor, there's no comparison versus an organic sweet potato versus a conventional one. We made the soup out of this, and there was just no flavor. There was just, I don't want to say no flavor, but the flavor was
very different.
Very different. And I tried it one other time as well, and it just doesn't work. So in 10 years we've tried it twice. It does not work. The organic sweet potatoes, unfortunately, here's the biggest difference, are much more expensive. We can buy a bag, a case of conventional sweet potatoes for 15 to 20 bucks. And like I said, the other ones range 50 to 100. So that's the biggest difference. Flavor, cost, and of course residues and pesticides. So yes, there is a huge difference in a conventional versus an organic. We always choose organic.
So what is, I know you touched upon the season for sweet potatoes. Where are sweet potatoes coming from? Where are they mostly grown? Do you know?
Well, the sweet potatoes can be grown all over.
Okay.
You know, they can be grown anywhere. You know, here in the Hudson Valley, people grow sweet potatoes. In Jersey, they grow sweet potatoes. Up in Maine. If you're looking for commercially produced, if you're going to the grocery store, chances are you're getting something from the South, especially California. Our organic sweet potatoes usually come out of California. There's a couple different types of sweet potatoes that we use. We usually use a garnet or a jewel. Those are the two types. The other type of sweet potato is the Hana, which is like the white oriental sweet potato, which is super delicious, super sweet. However, it's a much drier and starchier, so it's used for you're going to get a different texture out of it when you bake it or when you puree it or when you make soup out of it. But it's a white sweet potato and it is dynamite and delicious. So garnets, jewels, and Hana sweet potatoes.
So in the article they talked a little bit about mashed sweet potatoes, and do you do mashed sweet potatoes, and how do you do them?
Remember we used to have that dish with portobellos and
Yes.
kale with mashed sweet potatoes? The nice thing about sweet potatoes is they're fat-free. There's no fat in it. And the nice thing about it is you don't need to add fat. So when you make mashed sweet potatoes, you just take the sweet potatoes, you peel them, cut them up, you boil them or steam them, and you put them in a food processor with an S-blade, and you add a little bit of salt, and that's it. There's no butter, there's no cream, there's no olive oil, there's no coconut fat. You don't need to add any of that. They are perfect by themselves. They taste delicious.
Do you have to worry about them getting gummy like you do with
Regular
potatoes?
Not at all. Totally different. Great question. So if you were to take a potato, boil it, and then put it into a food processor to make mashed potatoes with the S-blade, it would immediately turn gummy within the first 5 seconds. Your potatoes would be like gummy. That's what happens with potatoes. Russet Burbank potatoes are oval ones. It doesn't happen nearly as much. It's the hybridized, more starchy potatoes. But if you do that with like a little yellow Yukon or a red potato or a fingerling potato, those gum up much easier.
If they come out of the water warm or cold, or
Either or. The secret to making a good mashed potato is taking their potatoes directly out of the hot water, out of the steamer, out of wherever you're taking them from, and get them right into where you're mixing them, and mix them and mash them right away. The longer you let a regular potato rest, and then go into your mashing device, whether you're doing it by hand or in a machine, not a food processing machine, but like a paddle mixer or something like a mixer, or even the ricers, the mills that you do by hand. The longer of a lag time, as soon as that potato starts cooling down, that's when you're going to have much more problems with it becoming gummy. And a sweet potato has no problems like that. A sweet potato is just, you get it out of the water, you can let it even cool a little bit, and you puree it in the food processor, and it just comes out silky, smooth, and velvety. Incredible.
Excellent. Remember that sweet potato risotto you made, which was excellent?
Yes. I tell people, when I tell people about risotto and the dangers of risotto, because risotto is basically 50% fat, even more. This is 50% of volume. Once you figure out the caloric intake, risotto is probably 70-80% fat by caloric intake. But most chefs make risotto with heavy cream and with an insane amount of butter. So when I replace the butter, I don't use cream in my risotto, but I replace the butter, adding the butter in, with sweet potato puree. And it makes an insanely delicious, soft, beautiful, textured risotto without all that added fat. So you can basically make a fat-free risotto by replacing the butter for sweet potato puree.
Gotcha. So, how about smoothies? How about putting sweet potatoes in smoothies?
Oh,
I
yeah.
did that last year, and it
You
was
did it last year.
delicious.
You took it and you
I think
boiled
we
off.
boiled them.
You boiled off discs of sweet potatoes, and then you just dropped them into the freezer. Then you just put them into your smoothie. They were delicious. They were incredible.
With a little bit of banana and clove and cinnamon, it
and
made
flax
it into
milk.
like a pumpkin.
Yeah, it was
like
those
like
were
a pumpkin-y sweet potato flavor.
Sweet potatoes for me are a huge convenience because I can bake them a day ahead of time. I can keep them in the refrigerator for up to 3, 4, 5 days. They never last that long because our kids love them.
They do. They like to take them to school
For
lunch.
They love to take them to school for lunch. I like to put them in wraps, in sandwiches. It's just amazing the versatility of a sweet potato, and just you know a food is perfect when you don't need to add much to it. So for instance, like, okay, yeah, broccoli is a great food, but you usually need to add like salt to broccoli. Not many people can just eat broccoli by itself. Not many people can just, take a regular potato and eat it by itself, or items by themselves. They usually add salt or sugar or fat onto things. So fruit, like a banana, you eat it by itself. It's great. The sweet potato, you can bake it and just eat it by itself. You don't need to add anything to it. The more things we add to our food, the more health implications we have, right? So the more fat, the more salt, the more whatever you're adding, the more processing, that's where you're having problems. Sweet potatoes is one of those things, you just bake it or steam it and that's it. You don't need to add a single thing to it. It's delicious by itself. There's not many foods that you actually cook that are just delicious by itself. There's a lot of things that are nutritious by itself, but a lot of things that you cook are like, oh, this needs some salt, right? Because you're not used to it. Sweet potatoes, no. Add nothing, just go. Now, of course, I've seen some people, Jamie, that pour maple syrup on their sweet potatoes and honey and brown sugar. I think that's way overkill. Maybe they just haven't had a good sweet potato, like a good organic sweet potato that we're used to. But it truly is, I believe, one of the most perfect foods. As the article that you read, it makes a lot of claims in there. And there is a lot of medical research on sweet potatoes and the phytochemicals, nutrients, all the stuff that's in there. I wish the article that we had read off actually had more specifics of studies and cited studies, but it didn't. It was just an overview. But it gives you a gist of how sweet potatoes are really good for you.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for sharing about sweet potatoes.
And I think I'm going to go put some in the oven now.
Excellent.
I'm Chef Marcus Giuliano.
And Jamie.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. If you like our videos, please hit like, subscribe to our channel, and definitely pass it on.